more bookings.
5 tips from Airbnb Superhosts.
And you're gonna wanna stick around for tip number 5. It is completely free and something that almost all hosts forget about.
Hi, I'm Sarah Caracan.
I'm Annette Grant, and together we are
Thanks for visiting.
And we have been hosting guests for over a decade, welcomed tens of thousands of guests into our homes.
We have thousands and thousands of 5-star reviews, and we bring well in over $1.5 million in booking revenue every single year, and we're ready to help you do the same. Tip number 1, your listing is not a set it and forget it situation. The hero image is the first picture a potential guest is going to see. So if you're on mobile view, it's the only picture they're going to see. And if you're in desktop version, it's the first picture they will see. So it is incredibly important. And it depends on when a guest is searching for your property on what the first image should be. Maybe you're highlighting something that is really awesome during the winter months. Maybe you're highlighting something that guests really want during the summer months. Maybe you're highlighting something that you offer during a special event in your area. This image should always be changing.
TFE pro tip.
When you get pictures of your property taken, just know that isn't the last time you're going to get photos of your property taken. Be aware that it's best to take photos of your property during different seasons. You might also add a new amenity that you want to highlight. So just know that you're getting your photos done now, and that's awesome, but save some funds or save up a little fund in your bank account for bringing the photographer back to catch a snowfall, to catch the leaves falling, to catch a really beautiful blue sky day if that's not when you're getting pictures of your photo taken or your property taken the first time.
Listing title. And just like those hero images, this listing title, you're going to be mixing it up, but this should be encouraging, not stressful for you, because you are going to be using what your guests are saying to remix that listing title. See what guests are looking for. The one important thing here is that you don't want to reiterate things that they're already potentially filtering for. Like, you don't want to let them know there's 2 beds or 2 baths. You want to elaborate on your property.
Text. In marketing, there's something called A/B testing. There's also something called above the fold. Think about a newspaper back in the day, right? You get a newspaper and it's folded in half. Whatever is on that newspaper on that first page without having to unfold it, that's called above the fold. And that is the most important real estate on a newspaper. So on your Airbnb listing or your Vrbo listing or anywhere you're direct booking, whatever a guest can see without having to scroll is really important. Let's go back to A/B testing. Sometimes A method works, sometimes B method works, and you should always be testing. So with your above the fold text, have information that's really engaging, really grab that potential guest, and then mix it up maybe 3 months later, again, with seasonality, with events. Try a different way of talking to that potential guest. You might want to have a doc running of what you've already said, and make sure you're looking at your Airbnb analytics, your Vrbo analytics to see what's trending well, what's working, how many clicks are you getting. This is a really important area, and if you want more bookings, you'll do the work.
Tip 2, automated messages. Response times matter. The quicker you are, the higher you rank. Here's the great news about these automated messages. This is something you can actually set it and forget it. And you can get the copyright to these messages that you want the guest to receive. So for example, when you have a booking inquiry, you could have that automatic message immediately go to that guest, and each and every one and the same exact message. That way you know each guest is being communicated with identically.
If you want to take your automated messaging to that next pro level, at Thanks for Visiting, we use Breezeway, and they've sponsored this entire video, and so we have to tell you about a way that you can make more money with Breezeway. If you get Breezeway messaging, you can automatically text a guest who's coming to stay with you and let them know that you've got what we call in the industry a gap night, right? The night before they arrive, there's no one there yet. No one booked that night. Or maybe the night after they leave, no one's booked it yet. So they're already coming. They're already paying to stay in your space. They've already decided they want to come stay with you. With Breezeway's gap night automated messaging, it'll message the guest at an appropriate time before they arrive. It depends on where you're at, what your market's like. We use 3 days before their arrival, like, hey, the night before you arrive is open. We'd love to offer you a special rate to book that night if you'd like to come in a night early, or if you want to come in super early the day of your arrival and know that you can check in without any worries. It's a win-win for them. They're getting it at a lower discounted price. It's a win for you. You probably weren't going to book it anyway. It's more money in your bank account without having to do any extra work. Tip number 3 is instant book.
Don't be scared.
Annette and I look like trustworthy ladies, right? Like, we wouldn't steer you wrong. We've been doing this for a long time, and that means we've had instant book on for a long time. So for new hosts, we get it. There is anxiety over turning that instant book on. You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I want control over who's coming, and you're still gonna have control, okay? I want you to turn instant book on because there's less friction for guests who are busy and distracted and barely have enough time to make their trip plans. So if they see your property and they like it, they can go ahead and they can book it. You will get more bookings this way. Here's the cool thing. When you have instant book on and you find out that this guest is not aligned with your property, maybe they've mentioned something that is outlined in your house rules, like they're local to your area. Sometimes local guests tend to, have other means of using your property that aren't aligned with your house rules or anything else like that. You can then tell that guest, hey, the reasons why you want to come to my home, they don't align with my home. You're not going to have a good time there. We're going to be at odds. It's best that you cancel. And if you have to cancel, Airbnb will allow that as long as it goes against your house rules. So make sure your house rules are filled out. And you wouldn't be able to do this if you approved that guest and later found out the reasons that they're coming aren't aligned with your house rules. So turn instant book on. You can cancel the guest later if you find out that it's not a good fit. You'll get more bookings. You'll make more money. If you want to learn more about how to create airtight house rules, check out the video. We did all about it.
Tip number 4, use dynamic pricing software. Dynamic pricing software is going to be a small investment. We want you to use a third-party dynamic pricing software, not Airbnb Smart Pricing. With dynamic pricing software, it is slow and steady, wins the race. There's going to be a learning curve here. You're going to need to know what your base pricing is, but let it do the work for you. It's more powerful and smarter than you can ever be about knowing your market. If Sarah and I could come through the screen, sit in your living room with you and have you use dynamic pricing software, this is the one thing that we want to link arms with you on. You will make more money. So we have a video all about this. Please go watch this. You will make more money and you will get more bookings. So imagine your short-term rental, your Airbnb can be as smart as the airlines, as Uber. When you go on for a Christmas flight, the pricing is gonna be way different than if you go in the middle of May. You will have that power behind you. And trust us, we're gonna link below the dynamic pricing software we use, Price Labs. You're gonna go to their website. There's gonna be a lot of jargon, a lot of graphs, a lot of revenue management talk, but fear not. You can learn this. For example, we have Mike, he's one of the members in our membership. We were out to breakfast with him and his wife, and they were like, hey, what would you guys do immediately? We had just spent the night at their short-term rental. What could we do to improve our bookings, improve our revenue? Number 1, and the only recommendation we gave them right there because we wanted them to take it away is they started using dynamic pricing software. They left from that breakfast. We met them the next day for breakfast because, like we said, we were staying in their short-term rental. They had started to use it and immediately had 3x'd their overnight stay price, and they were getting those bookings. And trust us, they were scared when they saw those numbers, but now they have never went back from that increased revenue, and that was just one tip that we gave them that we want you to use too.
Tip number 5, respond to guest reviews.
And we mean all of them.
Here's where you have to change your mindset a little bit. When you reply to a guest's review of your space, you're not replying to that guest. You are showing a future guest who is looking at your photos, your descriptions, and ultimately your reviews to see what other people think of the spot. They then have an opportunity to see who you are as a host. You're engaged, you care, you're involved. And so responding to that guest's reviews, what we like to do is highlight the good things they said about it. So if the guest is going on and on about your spa-like bathroom or your
amazing mattress,
or your awesome hot tub, you reiterate that in your response. Now, if there is constructive criticism left, what I want you to do is go into another room, scream into the abyss about how angry you are and how wrong they are about whatever they had to say about your property. Then come back, take a deep breath, and talk to that guest like you're watching a future guest consider your space. Like, we totally understand that, while we're in the middle of a city, that there was outside noise, being so close to the most amazing street in our town does have that drawback. So in response to your review, we've added more noise machines and earplugs. Like, how have you taken their criticism and improved upon it and been the better person as the host and say, we hear you, we've made these adjustments so that future guests don't have to go through what you went through, right? So be productive in that response and lose your cool off screen.
Now that you're getting more bookings, you're using dynamic pricing, you are just counting the money. We have a spreadsheet to help you keep all of this money in line. It's linked below. Make sure to download it.
And with that, I'm Sarah Karakayan.
I'm Annette Grant, and together we are
Thanks for visiting.
Make sure to hit the subscribe button and then do your homework.